All right, welcome back to our podcast. I'm Amarachi,
And I'm Mark.
and this is Inside.
And now.
Okay, so this week we're gonna actually don't know what we're gonna talk about this week, but just to do a quick recap of what we talked about last week. So, Mark was talking about his experience in Lagos and being called Oyinbo in Lagos, and I think you have a story about that this week.
I do.
Okay, go on.
This week I went up to Ibadan for work. I went Wednesday through Friday. And I went with my colleague. His name's Billy.
Okay.
And he's Nigerian. He's from here. He grew up and has lived here all his life. So we were discussing what we talked about on the podcast on the car ride up.
Okay.
And he said the same thing that I usually hear. The fact that, it's not malicious. Don't worry about it. And I was like, no. And I gave him the same argument. It's like, It's not the word, or I think people are being mean. It's the frequency of it. And I said, just wait. These 3 days will be side by side, 24/7. Just wait. You'll see.
Okay.
And so Wednesday, we were out working, and he just started to hear the onslaught of Oyibo. We were walking down the street, just Oyibo. And so by day 2, we went out to get jollof rice and chicken at a restaurant next to the hotel. And this woman comes out. She goes, Oyibo, what do you want? Like, there were a bunch of people around, but she just pointed me out. And Billy looks at her and goes, his name is Mark. So within one day, he went from completely thinking this word meant nothing to getting angry on my behalf. Not like he's not personally offended, but it's funny how much he's transitioned. But that's not even the most funny part. So we come back on Friday. And we go to the Acacia City Mall.
Yeah.
And we go to the Krispy Kreme. And I noticed they had really good coffee. And I was talking to the guy about where they get their beans. And I ordered an Americano, which is just 2 shots with hot water.
Okay.
That's we don't call it that in the U.S., but in Europe they call it that because that's how Americans drink their coffee.
Okay.
And so I ordered an Americano, and I'm waiting for it, and Billy's ordering donuts, and he walks over next to me, and, in coffee stores, they call the name of the order.
Okay.
So the lady goes, Americano, and Billy looks at her and goes, his name is Mark. So.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So it was fun to watch a Nigerian go from thinking this word just means nothing to seeing how much you're called it.
Yeah. And
becoming like irritated to the point of like exploding when he thought the woman was. It wasn't Oyibo. It was just
exactly.
calling me.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Anyway,
Why did you get so?
It was really, it was adorable, and I really.
But did she react though?
No. I think I knew immediately why he said that, because he thought I was being called a name, like American, or maybe that's what he heard, American, and I just started laughing. I think she was just confused.
Yeah. You need context for that.
Yeah. So how was your week? Tell me about your week.
My week was terrible. Well, not the entire week, but okay, so my phone cracked. My heart is shattered.
I know you spent a lot of time shopping for that.
Yeah, like I spent a lot of time shopping for the phone, and I got like a screen guard, I got a phone case, and I just feel like every time I think about the moments that led up to the phone falling, I just wish I could have just dropped my phone on the table. So I was at work, and someone had asked me to get something from his desk, so I went to get it, and I only had my phone because I wasn't sure I would find it, so I wanted to be able to call the person to just ask where it was. And I found it as soon as I got to the office, and I was coming out, and it was like in slow-mo, but my phone just fell to the ground. And then I looked down and I saw the screen guard was away from the phone, and I just knew. And then I picked up my phone slowly and I looked at it, and there was a tiny, but you seen the crack. It's so bad.
I'm sorry.
I feel so bad. I need a
I'm
new
sorry.
phone, Mark.
Hint, hint. I'm
Yes.
feminist, Amarachi. I support you in buying your own phone. You're...
So yeah, that was the low light of my week. Apart from that, I think it was a pretty good week. I'm my heart is getting mended now, and yeah, so that was basically how my week went. Really.
So let's stay on phones. This topic.
Okay.
Last night we went to the Shoprite in Acacia,
Mm-hmm.
and unquestionably the most packed supermarket I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There were lines to get a shopping cart. You're always waiting in Lagos to do anything if you're outside. So we go there, and I had to constantly maneuver around people taking selfies in front of vegetables. And,
I did see
and
that.
yogurt, like people reaching to get yogurt, and the guy had to take like 10 photos. What is going on with this? Why are people taking so? Where are they putting them? Instagram?
Instagram and Facebook. I mean, they make nice backdrops, don't you think? Like the colorful vegetables and everything. It's nice. But I know, I feel...
You had a vegetable Instagram post.
Yes, that's why that's why I'm not going to criticize it. But I wasn't taking pictures of myself. I was taking pictures of the produce.
So if I was in the US and someone in the supermarket was blocking me from going somewhere because he was taking a photo, I would have full right to yell at that guy or say something.
Well,
just
you
be
could
like,
have said something yesterday too.
Are you kidding? You're not allowed to say that stuff like that.
Yeah, but I feel like you could have still just done your thing. They're the ones to wait for you, not the other way around.
No, I'm not talking about some courteous move around them and then photobomb them. Although that is probably the best solution to this. It's just photobomb them to get back, revenge. No, but like he was so many times. People were like in my way, like blocking the path because they were taking selfies or they were taking pictures of their kids.
Yeah.
And or live streaming on, I don't even know, so many guys. And then obviously like it makes me, I don't know, because they just then point the camera at me. That happened twice. Really? Yeah, guys walking around like video. That's just part of the social landscape. I just gotta accept this.
Yeah.
That I have to maneuver around 1,000 photographers in the supermarket. Everyone wants to be a photographer.
Yeah.
I can sympathize with that.
I also noticed like a lot of people on their phones, like just not just pictures, but just like constantly on their phones. You know, when we were in line to pay, a woman nearly lost her kid, like
because she was on her phone.
Yeah, and the guy just.
What was she on? What app?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't looking into her phone. But
Yeah.
then the guy just walked away, and all of us spent like 2 minutes looking for him, and she just went almost crazy.
This is a problem. This is not like specific to Lagos though. When I was back in the US doing the Appalachian Trail. Every time I went into town, I would always the majority of people when they're sitting down at dinner now are just on their phones. Yeah. When I went to New York right before coming here, we went for a concert and it was like everyone in the restaurant, all the couples. This guy was scrolling through Facebook. This is like a really nice restaurant and these people go to really nice restaurants and sit there on Facebook the whole time. And okay. It's okay. Okay, true or false? Is it okay if you're both on Facebook and you're talking to each other about posts? Is that's a thing here? Yeah,
it's a thing.
Like you're both on Instagram commenting about certain people, probably talking shit, obviously, because what else would you be doing? Yeah. But so it's one thing not talking at all, which happens a lot. But there's another thing of is that okay? Is that better somehow? Or should you just keep your phones away?
Yeah, I would say the best thing is keep your phones away, at least for the little time you're gonna just have dinner together or something. But if you're on your phones and you're actually talking and I'm showing you posts and it's not like too bad.
So, are we on a no phone rule though?
No?
Do other couples in Lagos have no phone rules?
I don't think. I don't think. Maybe they do, but I just
Have
feel
you ever
like
heard that?
I've not heard the term used as like no phone. Like we have a no phone rules, no phone rule. At dinner.
Okay, wait, maybe we should explain what I mean by no phone rule.
Yeah, like when
I
you're
feel
having
like
dinner.
since we have talked about this before, you know what I'm talking about. No phone rule is go ahead.
Like I could say, when we're together or when we're having dinner, no phones. So no Facebook, no Instagram, nothing. Just like keep your phone away. That's it, right? Okay. Yeah, I feel like people would have it, but it's not like something that is necessary. It's just when you go out to a restaurant, it just doesn't make sense for... I mean, you go out to spend time with each other and then you're on your phones all the time. It doesn't make any sense. But
are you allowed to call someone out? So I went out Friday night because you went to some caroling church thing.
Okay.
What'd you go to? Sorry.
My church had a carol service. You
Carol
should have
service.
come. Oh, but
You didn't invite me.
I was going to invite you, but you went to...
You thought I was going to come back too late. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so you went out?
Oh yeah, I went to La Mango. It was right next to my house. And I went with my neighbor. And yeah, we were all together. And yeah, like 7 out of 8 people were just on their phones all night.
But they were interacting with the table just...
Barely. I would say 90% of the time they were on their phones.
Sometimes I think...
And multiple phones.
I think that...
Managing multiple profiles.
Okay, no,
I don't know if you have... So I found out that people have...
multiple Instagram accounts and stuff. I do.
Like a private, public. This phone's just for my family. This one's for work. This one's for the missus. This one's for the miss. I don't know.
Yeah.
When guys have 3 phones, like, do you immediately... Is that like... What is that signal?
It doesn't really signal much to me because you can have multiple phones for a lot of reasons. This one being a valid reason because you could have like a business phone, which
with like a CUG or whatever it's called.
What's that?
When you can call your colleagues in the network for free.
Yeah, or you just people at work and just people you do business with, and that's going to be different from the phone you use for your family members. And like if you could have like a really good phone and just a simple phone that's always going to be on. Like if you use your phone all the time, you run out of battery power.
That's true.
And then you could just have another one. That's fine.
That's definitely a difference between the US and here is the amount of phones people have. You immediately assume it's like because people are shady.
Yeah.
Like if you have 2 phones in the US, you're either in the mob or like selling crack. Like there's no reason to have 2 phones.
Yeah. So I was going to say, like, when you're in a setting with so many people and everyone is on their phone, sometimes that's like a defense mechanism. Like I get shy in group meetings, and just having my phone is some sort of comfort. And even if I'm not necessarily interacting with people online, I could just pretend to be, and it just makes me more comfortable. So maybe that's a thing.
Yeah, that could be.
It might seem rude, but like I don't think I would do it like if I was, in a meeting. But that, like if I was in a party, I definitely would bring out my phone.
I think that's part of why people do it, and partly to signal like you're a cool person. And I don't know. Most people probably don't even think about that they're doing it. I think these phones have become so addicting and such an extension of our brains that we don't think twice. I mean, Elon Musk recently said we're all cyborgs. We're all connected to our phones. It's not inside us yet.
Oh, okay.
How many Lagosians do you think would sign up for the chip in your brain?
I think if it comes out like now,
Yeah.
I'd say nobody's gonna sign up for it because everyone is gonna be so fidgety, and it's going to be, and Lagosians are very religious and superstitious, and well, a lot of them, and that just, when I think about like a chip in my head, I just think about the Antichrist. Or just being controlled, and that actually scares me. I wouldn't sign up for it. Yeah, but again, maybe after like 10 years, when I've seen a lot of people signed up and you're doing okay, then I'll be open to it.
Speaking of that, someone told me during the week, that Nigerians are very religious but not spiritual.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means, like, I mean, you've noticed in Nigeria, everyone talks about religion, and everyone is in one church or the other, or a mosque or the other. But then you still see, even as you drive, you still see people like they don't practicalize what they preach. Like the Bible preaches love your neighbor as yourself, but you try to cut in someone, you try to like go into a different lane in traffic and no one will let you, or people would cheat you or try to cheat you. If you go to the market, it's just nobody practices what they preach, and so you have a society where there's a lot of religion or religious people but not very spiritual people.
So spiritual is kind of the same thing as morality here?
It's not. It's deeper.
Ooh.
Than that.
I thought you said you weren't deep anymore.
That was you.
You're going deep on me. No, you said.
That was you.
Oh, you told me I was. Oh, you.
That I didn't tell you. I used to.
You used to say I was deep. But now
deep.
you're getting deeper. So we're at the same depth.
You're rubbing off on me.
Oh, yeah. Let's keep this PG-13.
It is PG-13. You're the one making it giving it a different meaning.
Okay, so how do you bridge that gap between spirituality and religion? Religion is one part of culture. Did I just cut you off again? Sorry, people.
No, you didn't. I was thinking.
Terrible.
Okay, so I feel like at the end of the day, it actually has to. There are two parts. The first part has to do with the individual.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make that conscious effort to just be a better person and practice what you preach. And then it also, the onus also falls on the preacher to drive the message like to your congregation, because a lot of Nigerians really listen to what the pastor has to say. I listen to what my pastor has to say. And if you talk enough about just being a better person, practicing, just about your life not being confined to the four walls of the church, and that's when you're like the best. I'll tell you a story. So in my church, we had a service on Sunday, and it was an amazing service. The worship was awesome, and everyone was like in the spirit, and it was really nice. And then we came out of church. So we usually have 2 services, 2 or 3 services, and the first service closes at 9, and people would need to drive out of the church and for the second service guys to come in. And so you'd have these controllers that try to help control the traffic. They're volunteers, by the way, and you just need to follow their directions so that everything moves quickly. And then they tried to ask this woman not to, I think they were asking her not to park somewhere so that people could like go in and come out quickly, or maybe they were asking her to move. I don't remember, but like she had just come out of this spirit-filled service, and then our reaction to the guy was just the exact opposite. And my pastor usually uses this example as something to just, I don't know, encourage people not to, just to be better people outside of church, which is, I think, what Nigeria needs more than anything.
Yeah. Well, I will be experiencing that transition, hopefully. Maybe I can, no.
Yeah.
I was going to say play my small role, but yeah, I don't think an Oyibo is going to change Lagos.
Yeah.
But I can be nice to people. I think it's about practice. You can't just decide to be nice overnight. It's a practice. And like you got to consciously choose to behave differently and really work on it. And it takes years to get in different patterns of thinking and patterns of behaving. But you gotta want to do it first. Yeah. I don't think
and I feel like people, well, personally, I feel like sometimes in Lagos, if you try to be nice, then people try to take advantage of you. Ooh. So it's like a vicious cycle where you're reacting. I mean, like, I don't have road rage. I don't yell at people on the road, and I'm surprised that I still don't do it, because I don't think anyone sets out to, in Lagos anyway, to just develop that, but the city just changes you. So sometimes you feel like you want to be nice to someone or to people, and then you just feel taken advantage of, and then you feel like you need to be tougher to be able to cope and to be able to deal with some of these things. So it needs to break somewhere, the cycle.
Well, amen to.
We were talking about phones.
So okay, let's move on to a new segment we're calling Top 3. Okay. We gotta think of a better name for that, but we're just gonna try to do list of top 3 things. So the first one is top 3 places to visit in West Africa. Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay.
First, mine would be Benin Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and why? Because, well, I live in Lagos. It's very close to Lagos, so it means I can get there with just a little amount of money, and it's also the place where we met. So obviously, going to be top 3 for a long time. Wow. Okay, so you go.
West Africa. Was that your number 1 or is that your number 3?
That's my number 1. Oh,
okay. Usually top 3 lists go down, 3. Right?
No, we could just.
All right. My number 1. I wanna say Lagos, just to be a crowd pleaser, but my number 1 place to hang out in West Africa visit is Abidjan. I was so impressed in 2016. Okay. I drove my motorcycle, my little Yamaha 110cc from Cotonou in Benin Republic to Abidjan. And I wasn't sure if I was going to continue living and working in Africa. That's why I did it. Okay. And I went there for 3 nights and I couch surfed there. And I was so impressed. I thought it was beautiful. Yeah. The nightlife was the best I've ever experienced. Like, Ivorians have fun. They're so fun. It's such a different vibe there. And yeah, I like Ivorians. That's what makes it. It's both things. It's the city. I think it's called the Plateau. That's the kind of, they call it the Manhattan of West Africa. Okay. It's so beautiful. I was walking around. I just had a great time. I was taking a lot of photos. And then at night I went to Zone 4, the 4th zone, which is just a whole neighborhood of places to go out. And I had a good time. It was really good. They have great beers. The Drogba is like that's not what it's actually called though. It just came out when they were in the World Cup, so everyone calls it the Drogba. Yeah, so it's if you want to have a relaxing good time, they have nice beaches. Like it's just got everything you want in having a good time on vacation. So that's my number one. Okay, number two.
So that was actually going to be my number two.
But you've never been there.
Yeah. I can still say about countries I've never been.
Can you though?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's your list.
Thank you. So yeah, Abidjan and Ivory Coast, and I've never been there, obviously, but I want to go, and I've heard again from you so many good things about the city. I also want to go to Yamoussoukro to see the basilica. Have you been there?
No, I didn't go up there.
Yeah.
I drove my motorcycle from Abidjan and I went to Kumasi. Okay. So I just went up the coast and then went into Ghana.
Okay, so like I really want to go there. So yeah, that would be my number two in West Africa. And then my number three would be Ghana.
The whole country?
Yes. Well, I've been to only two places. I've been to Accra and Cape Coast. And
why'd you like it?
So Ghana is like Accra is like Lagos light. So it's the energy, the vibe, but just slightly toned down, which is perfect. And I just felt like Ghanaians were super chilled, super friendly. I went with my sister, my younger sister, Chinanya, and we just had an amazing time. And when we were going up to Cape Coast, we took the STC bus, and the bus left 4 minutes late, and people were complaining. And I was like, wow, this must be nice, because 4 minutes late is super early in Nigeria. And just Accra to Cape Coast, the roads were good, and Cape Coast was just very beautiful and quiet.
Cape Coast is beautiful.
Yeah.
That would make my list as I love Cape Coast. Yeah. The fish there, woo, that was delicious. My two is Dasa Zume in Benin Republic. I spent 3 years there from 2011 to 2014 as a Peace Corps volunteer. Yeah. I consider it a home. Dasa is right. We call it the Mason-Dasa line. It's a reference to the Civil War in the U.S. and Mason-Dixon line that separated the North from the South. Okay. So we call it the Mason-Dasa line. So it separates the cultural South from the cultural North. Okay. Meaning the Fon, F-O-N, people are in the South. And right when you get the Dasa is where that cuts off. You get to Boykan, which was the seat of the Dahomey Kingdom. And, Albomey, right next to Boykan. And then you go up to Dasa Zume, and that's where you get... Dasa Zume is called the land of 41 hills. So not only does the culture change and become sort of like Benin light, like it's less aggressive, but it's these beautiful granite hilltops that jut out of the landscape, and they're really magical. They're enchanting, and they're worth going to check out. So you could go. They have great pounded yams there. It's the best in the country. You get the peanut sauce. So go to Dasa. Stay at Armand's place. Chez Armand. Chez, Chez. You just take a bus to Cotonou and take the post bus. They have Wi-Fi. Up to Dasa. Get a place at Chez Armand. Go enjoy the hills. Get some pounded yams and tell me. You can thank me later. Okay, so we went there, but you were sick.
Yeah. So I didn't. Well, I just barely saw the hills.
Yeah, we didn't get to climb the hills.
Anything,
yeah. And number 3 for me. Ooh, this is tough. Despite having some qualms with it, Bamako is definitely an awesome place to visit. Mali is so different. I lived there last year. I lived in Bamako. It's like New York City. It's a great place to visit, not a great place to live. In that sense. Okay. Malians are really different from every other country. There's a charm to Mali that's hard to put your finger on, but it's there and it's magical. The music in Mali is second to none. It is so good. And live music, I mean, you could see live music any night, and they're everywhere, and these are some of the best musicians in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The core music, it is just so... I saw really famous musicians just... I was hanging out, I was taking guitar lessons once,
Okay.
and the lead guitar player of Songoy Blues, who had just played... I just saw their NPR Tiny Desk concert.
Mm-hmm.
This guitar player is amazing. He comes walking up and sits next to me on this bench on the side of the road. I'm like... I was just starstruck. Like... And then I was so embarrassed to play. The lesson ended there. But so you can see amazing musicians. The food is good. They have skewers. They meat. It's really good. And then Bamako, from there you can stretch out. Currently, the country is not in the greatest situation with the war going on in the north, or the conflict. But definitely worth a visit. We have to go someday. You never made it up there.
I know. It's like one of my biggest travel regrets.
It's dusty, it's hot, but it's fun. People are if you want to see it, if you think you know Africa and you've never hung out with Malians, like, you don't know Africa.
I would disagree with that. I feel like if you think if you think you know Africa and you've never hung out with Nigerians, then you don't know Africa.
Great, I agree. Like we said, I came here in 2014, and I'll never forget what the guy in Calabar... No, was it Calabar? No, it was like right before Port Court where we stopped. He said, there's Africa, then there's Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's true. It's different here. And I hope to learn more and more and more about that. All right, that was the top 3. Let's go to questions for the week. We're going to take questions. We got a few questions. Can you hand me my phone?
Yeah.
We got a few questions, and so yeah, comment on Travel with the Pen. Leave your questions. We'll get an email soon.
Yeah.
So
I'll post that on my platforms.
Yeah.
You could do the same on yours.
Don't ask the questions when you're out at a bar with someone or eating dinner. You should put your phone away. Yes. But any other time when you're alone, you can send us a question. We'll answer it. You can send us questions that we need to do research on, or if you're interested in something, we can go out and videotape it. We're trying to experiment with this, so I really love taking video. So
takes great ones too.
Maybe you guys can challenge us to make this more interesting for you. So any suggestions or comments, please leave them on travelwiththepen.com. So the first question is, how did you and Mark meet?
Do you want me to say that? Do you want me to tell that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I did.
I was there. I also... No, but
okay.
You can tell that story.
Okay, so we met 2 years ago in Benin Republic. And I just learned about couchsurfing. I don't remember exactly when I decided I was going to use it, but I think I had an account for about a year or so. But then I put up a public trip request saying I wanted to go to Ouida and just like go to places around. And I didn't think anyone was going to answer I didn't think anyone was going to respond to it. And I also didn't know that you could actually send requests directly to people you wanted to stay with. And then a couple of weeks after, you sent a message back to me saying that you would be happy to host me. And yeah, I was just really excited. And then I read your reviews, and they were really good. And I felt very comfortable staying with you. So so we met in Benin Republic 2 years ago, couchsurfing, and then I later couchsurfed to you the following year when I went to Togo. And
was that couchsurfing?
Well, sort
was that you?
It was
surfing after something else.
I was going to couchsurf in Togo, but then I couldn't find my host's place, so I stayed in a hotel. And then the next day, I saw a bus going back to Nigeria, and I was going to get a free ride. So I texted you and asked if I could stay with you again, and then you said yes. So yeah, that's how we met, and we just kept in touch. now. And then we went to Morocco later
Mm.
last year.
Yeah. I decided, because with my work that I had in Bamako, they offered a regional travel benefit, like $500.
Okay.
And Morocco is part of the region. So and two colleagues told me, like, said that it was their favorite country. One had lived there for like 3 years, the other visits like every year. And it just was never on my radar as somewhere to go. Like, I never even thought about Morocco. But then with the benefit plus two people telling me it's the greatest country to visit, I looked more into it and then decided on going. And then, yeah, I texted you.
I thought you were joking. Like,
You thought I was...
yeah. I mean, I knew you were serious about going to Morocco, but then when you asked if I wanted to come, and I was like, yeah, sure. But then we just, I sometimes I still can't believe we went, but that was like the most magical trip ever.
And there's a video with the same name.
I know.
And there's a video of the first time you couch surfed at my place.
Yes.
We'll put a link to the video on Travel with the Pen.
Okay.
Okay, second question. What is Mark doing in Lagos?
What are you doing in Lagos?
Hanging out with you. No, should I make this a long story? I'll try to make it short. So I've been living and working in West Africa for 7-ish years. And I love living here. I love working here. And I was up in Bamako, and then my dad decided to hike the Appalachian Trail. It's a continuous footpath in the United States. It runs from Maine to Georgia. It's over 2,000 miles. It takes about 5 or 6 months to do the whole thing. And he did it because he just retired and he wanted a challenge. I'll be making a video later with why we did it and all this stuff. I'm also posting on Instagram, Mark Holsenbeck, the story of it. So if you want to follow there, it's just MARK. We'll put a link.
Okay.
And I thought it was too good of an opportunity to pass up. So I quit my job and I went and hiked the whole thing with him. It took 5 months. And then you were the greatest support ever during that time. And you kept talking to me despite the crazy move to quit my job. And so I thought, like, okay, if she's still talking to me when I'm not making any money and in the middle of the woods, like, maybe she'll put up with me and if I get a job. So I was in New Jersey home and I was looking at jobs, and I found a job with a social enterprise called Impact Water. They had just established in Nigeria, and they install water purification systems in schools. And I applied and I did my interview hiking in the woods, and it all worked out. And so now I came here. I'm the business development manager. I won't go. Maybe I'll talk more about the work itself, but the whole idea is to commercialize water purification systems for schools, and then one of my main jobs will bring it to the private sector. So many people want it in their houses. So you'll see me a lot, probably all over Lagos, trying to get people to install these UV systems in their houses.
Okay.
But it's more like I'm not a water engineer or anything. But I do love working with social enterprises and helping businesses grow and deal with all those struggles, like monitoring and evaluation struggles, tech solutions. So I really like watching and helping out with businesses grow. And this is in the very early phase, and hopefully they've already installed in up to 5,000 schools these systems. And I mean, the goal is for every
school to have one.
Every school, every home to have pure water. And it's fun and challenging to be a part of. And that's why I was up in Ibadan. We were giving aqua tabs out to
Schools.
Public school teachers and trying to find private schools to go install this automatic chlorine system that goes into the tanks. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing. There's a lot to learn. I have to learn Nigerian business culture.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so different than Mali. Oh my gosh. It's so different. When you can criticize, when to hold back, how do you motivate a Nigerian person, colleague or subordinate to do something? I mean, these are things that are problems all over the world. Managers have.
Yeah.
But
you
how
need
do
to-
you? But Nigeria is so different than Mali, and I'm really learning. There's so many cultural differences, which maybe another time I'll talk about more. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing, and yeah, that's what I do during the day, and then on weekends I hang out with you. And today I met your sisters,
Yeah.
and soon over Christmas I'll meet your parents.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to your mom today on the phone.
This would be
She said no wahala a lot, which sounds good.
Okay.
All right, people.
Yeah.
No wahala. No, I should not be saying that.
Yes.
I need to spell. Yeah. Ugh.
No, but that sounded
Sounds
good.
terrible.
No, that sounded good.
You want to sign us out here?
Okay, well, thanks for listening to our podcast this week. If you have any questions or any suggestions, like Mark has already mentioned, leave them. I was going to say leave them below, but this is this is on your YouTube video. So you can leave them on travelwiththepen.com or at Mark Olsenbeck Instagram or Amarachi Instagram. We'll leave all the links on my blog and on all our social media platforms. Okay, so have a great week, everyone. Bye.